Okay guys, so this week I shopped my own pantry, which included the fridge and my freezer as well. And so my meals are coming from what I already have on hand. Having said that, I did have to send Randy to Kroger real quick to just get a few items. And our total did come to $23.83. So I'm just going to show you what I got really quick just to go along with my pantry challenge to myself. So we did get a 2% milk because we were completely out of milk. We grabbed some tortilla chips because I plan on repurposing some food we have here to make some nachos. I grabbed some extra wide noodles. I got 2 of these sausage links. I grabbed a sour cream. I got some shredded cheddar cheese. I got a loaf of white bread. I got some hamburger buns. And then I have some salsa. I went ahead and grabbed some celery. I got 2 dozen eggs. And then I grabbed some white rice. So yeah, these are the groceries we picked up for the week. Okay guys, so one of the things while I was going through my fridge is I had some baby Bella mushrooms that really needed to be cooked up. I threw a little olive oil in the pan. I threw my mushrooms in, and then I had a little bit of this Lambrusco, just some table wine. And I went ahead and put that in there. Wine and mushrooms go together like peanut butter and jelly. And I sprinkled a little bit of salt. All right, you guys, so these mushrooms are done. They are gonna be so flavorful and delicious. As you can see, the mushrooms reduce quite a bit when you cook them. They did cook for quite a while. I'd say about 20 minutes. I did cook them on a lower heat. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw these in the fridge. I might use them for dinner tonight or a different dinner. And then also when I was going through my freezer here, I had forgotten that I had some dough left from at Christmas time when I made the peanut butter cup, peanut butter cookie cup things. You guys have probably already seen them. I put them on my channel or Instagram or whatever. Plus a lot of other people make them. I forget what their official name is. But anyways, I had a bunch of dough left because I had made a homemade peanut butter dough. And so I'm gonna go ahead and cook these up for the kids for the weekend here. So yeah, I might as well just go ahead and use that up before I forget about it, and then I just have to throw it away. So that was a find when I was going through everything. And you know, that's the thing, when you cook from your pantry and your freezer and your fridge, you forget about little things like this, and then it gets wasted. So we're gonna cook this up. So in my next little bit here, guys, you're gonna hear guitar in the background. That's just, you know, life when you're married to a musician. I didn't even realize he was playing. But yeah, so just some random music in the background for you guys. So I went ahead and got my peanut butter cookies all divided out. I put the crisscrosses with the fork there. I was able to get 14 cookies out of the dough I had left. Getting ready to put them in the oven, probably 350 for about 10 minutes. I do have 1 Reese's Christmas tree left, and I'm gonna see with the peanut butter in it. I don't know if it'll work, but I am gonna go ahead and kind of try to make little swirls out of this to sprinkle on top of the cookies. If it's a disaster, this will end up in the garbage. But I'm thinking it might not be. So this is how my peanut butter cookies turned out. I just tried to make little X's. Some turned out better than others. It's kind of melting on top there. I think it'll be good. I don't know that it's pretty. I also decided to make some iced tea. I just stuck my huge Purex container here of filtered water in the microwave for 5 minutes with, I think it's 5 tea bags. And then I'm gonna get, you know, some kind of a pitcher with a lid and get that in the fridge. All right, guys, so I've got my pitcher of iced tea in the fridge. I love iced tea. It is my absolute favorite drink, and everyone except for my husband enjoys iced tea. And I'll probably make another batch or two throughout the week. I've got plenty of black tea. Okay guys, so since this is a video that I am just showing you stuff that I had on hand to make different things this week, I am not going to actually show you every single recipe because then my video would be incredibly long. I'm going to show you the ingredients that I pulled out of the pantry for this. I am making some oatmeal raspberry jam squares. You can use whatever jam that you have on hand. The recipe does call for oatmeal, which I have, salt, flour, cinnamon, brown sugar. I'm using raspberry jam there because that's what I had. Some butter and some baking powder and pecans. The cinnamon and pecans are optional. I'm going to go ahead and list this recipe down below, and I will show you what they look like when they are done. So here are my oatmeal squares. I did let them cool almost completely before I cut into them. I'm not the best cutter of things. I will say this, they're a little more crumbly than I would like. I might add a little more butter than what the recipe calls for, but that's totally up to you. I did try a little tiny bit of the crumbs. Oh my lord, it's very, very good. Do you guys see the jam in there? Oh, my kids are chomping at the bit, so they barely wanted to let me film. I'm gonna go ahead and get off here so they can have some. So I am gonna make this up. My son especially likes the pigs in a blanket, but these are little smokies, and these were actually left because I intended on making more than what I did pigs in the blanket for the Super Bowl. So I've got 1 pack of crescent rolls. It will probably only use maybe half of these. All right, you guys, so my little batch of little smoky pigs in a blanket are done. These are really good, and my husband and son will be all about them. So I went ahead with those little smokies. I had about half of a bag left, and I threw them in my little pot here with some barbecue sauce I had left over in the fridge, stirred it up, and I'm gonna let it kind of simmer for a bit. And throw it in a container because I know either my son or husband will snack on these in the next few days, so that'll be in there as well. This is kind of fun. Usually I make a list, I go grocery shopping, but I've been so inspired by the people that do stuff like this. I'm like, I'm gonna challenge myself. Okay guys, so tonight I am making homemade pizza, and I'm doing the homemade pizza crust. Have you guys seen the Greek yogurt with either self-rising flour, or you can use regular flour and add some baking soda and some salt? I went ahead and I made 2 batches. It's 1 cup of Greek yogurt, 1 cup of flour, and then if you add the baking soda and salt, if you get just all-purpose flour. I got this idea from my friend Vicki at Vicki Marie Living Life. I just love her. She's such a positive person. But so she made this pizza in a recent video. So I made 2 batches, and I actually cut it into fourths. So I kind of did like mini pizzas so that everyone could have their favorite toppings. This one is just a cheese pizza for my daughter, and I am using just some leftover mozzarella cheese that we've had in the fridge here. And then the sauce I used on this pizza is actually spaghetti sauce. I don't think anyone's gonna notice. Same. Like, I think it's gonna be great. And then I went ahead and made this one for my son. This is spaghetti sauce and mozzarella cheese. It was the shredded mozzarella cheese. And then I had some Canadian bacon. And I just went ahead and cut that up and threw it on this pizza. Okay, so this one has the spaghetti sauce that I used on the other 2 pizza, and then I used those mushrooms that I cooked up earlier in the wine and olive oil, and then I just have diced up green pepper and onion on that one. This one has barbecue sauce, and my daughter had some leftover grilled chicken from takeout, and so I just cut that up, threw it on there, and then I used some onion on this pizza. When I do this chicken barbecue pizza, I do like to use a purple onion, but I didn't have that, so I'm just using a yellow onion here. I will go ahead and put the recipe to this crust in my description box below. I thawed one of my freezer meals that I made. This was not in my freezer meal video, but I do have a video on the corn chowder that I made. I just went ahead and froze all the ingredients except for the milk and flour, which I'll add later as the directions call for. I'll go ahead and put a link to my corn chowder video in my description box below, where all the rest of the recipes that I put down there from this video will be. So I'm just going to pop this in my crock pot, and then I'm just turning my crock pot on high. And this will be done about 4 to 5 hours from now, and then I'll add my little milk and flour slurry and let that cook another 30 minutes or so, and we'll have a huge pot of corn chowder. So when I was looking through my freezer, when I decided to do this pantry challenge for myself, I found 1 loaf of this Rhodes frozen white bread, and I have it ready to rise so I can cook that up and it can go along with our corn chowder. Oh my goodness, you guys, the house smells so good. We loved this corn chowder so much, and I did put some andouille sausage in there. I love andouille sausage and corn chowder, but we love this so much from a collab that I did the other day that I made 2 freezer meals of this one, and then this is that homemade bread all cooked up, that loaf I found in my freezer. So this is going to be a pretty doggone good meal. I just made a big bowl of popcorn just for a snack. This is actually the second time I've done this week. I had popcorn kernels on hand, and I used my air popper that my daughter got us for Christmas this past year. Threw on a little butter and salt. Called it good. Okay guys, so I had everything in my pantry to where I could make some chicken noodle soup. I didn't have enough like chicken broth or like a whole chicken to make my own broth. I had some just random chicken breast frozen. So what I did is I just am using some of this chicken bouillon. I usually don't do that. I like flavor to come from like the real deal. So this is 16 cups of water. And so 16 teaspoons of the bouillon. I'm making a big pot though, so that we can have soup for leftovers for either some dinners this week or lunch. And I also season the water with some garlic powder, salt, and pepper. I brought it all to a boil, and then I threw my chicken in there. So it's in there boiling up, and when it's done, I'm going to pull it out and kind of shred it, cut it up, and then I'll put it back in here at the end. And then I've got my vegetables chopped up. I've got celery, some onion, carrots. This is all stuff that was in my refrigerator that we hadn't used. You can make as little of it or as much of it as you'd like. And then I found these extra wide noodles left over in the pantry, so I'm gonna throw that in at the very end. All right guys, so here's my steaming delicious chicken noodle soup. It smells so good. I did add a couple of bay leaves. I'm gonna go ahead and have this with some saltines, and this will also probably be lunch tomorrow. Having said that, this is the end of what I'm showcasing from the week of shopping my pantry, freezer, and fridge. I filmed a lot of this stuff, not everything of course, but I feel like I gave you a good little like snippet of the week. It was super fun to challenge myself this way. So let me know in the comments if you like videos like this. I'm curious, because maybe I'll do another one coming up here if people think that this is kind of a fun thing to do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.